Hey, what's up, guys? Master Flex here. I'm going to do my AEW Fighter Fest review for both nights in the same way that I did my NXT The Great American Bash review on both nights. So let's just get started. First up, you had the Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. This was a really good match, really good tag match to kick off night one. You can see the tension between MJF and Wardlow towards the end of the match. When he actually struck Wardlow because Wardlow was in the way, and he got pushed into Wardlow and struck him, and Wardlow ended up taking the pin in this match. MJF is still undefeated in single matches, so this loss didn't really hurt him at all. And I definitely feel, somewhere down the line that Wardlow was going to eventually turn on MJF, or MJF eventually turn on Wardlow. But I can definitely see that happening somewhere down the line, especially with what we saw here um, with the way that the match ended right there. But the Jurassic Express, uh, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy picked up the victory here. You also pretty much saw the continuation of the feud that's been going on really ever since Double or Nothing with Jungle Boy and MJF. They've just been going at it ever since. They had a heck of a match at Double or Nothing. You could see they were squaring off a pretty good amount of time in this match here. And Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus picked up the victory here in a pretty good, solid tag match to kick off the show for number one. Also, you saw that MJF pretty much proved that the ratings war by announcing it on the mic. So you have that whole thing going on. Next up, you have Penelope Ford against Akura Shia for the AEW Women's Championship. And I gotta say, this was a really good match. This was probably the best Penelope Ford's ever looked. The ref actually kicked her fiance Chris Sabin out of the match in the very beginning. She threw him out of the match. Eventually, he did try to come back and help Penelope Ford win, but it backfired. Penelope Ford kicked out of two Falcon Arrows, which I really didn't expect her to do. So this match was really, you know, probably the best that Penelope Ford's ever looked. She was really able to shine, really able to get a lot of good offense on Kurashida. And Kurashida, she's looked. I might be pronouncing her name wrong, but she's looked really good. It's amazing to see her as the AEW Women's Champion here. She defeated Nyla Rose at AEW Double or Nothing, so she's been holding the title pretty well. She's been getting booked pretty strong. I really love seeing her in action. It's probably one of my favorites in AEW right now. And she just an amazing match between these two right here. I didn't expect for this match to be as good as it was, but this match was truly amazing. Probably my favorite match of night one. Definitely this match right here delivered in all corners. I really enjoyed this match a lot. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good offense by both women here. Like I said, of course, she retained the AEW Women's Championship, but take nothing away from Penelope Ford. Because Penelope Ford, she was able to finally show what she's made of in this match. She took it to Akura Shida, and this was just a really, really good match and a nice victory for Akura Shida here. Next up, you had Cody Rhodes against Jack Hager for the TNT Championship. Cody Rhodes been doing these open challenges for the past couple of weeks. I believe his last open challenge he did prior to facing Jack Hager was against Mark Quinn from Private Party, if I'm not mistaken. I know he defended the belt against. He's had quite a few open challenges. He went against Jungle Boy, one of his open challenge matches. There was another guy who's not even an AEW star who he faced in his open challenge match. So he's had quite a few open challenge matches. Um, And he's just looked really good with the open challenges that he's done. Of course, he defeated Lance Archer to win the tournament to crown the first ever TNT champion. And this match right here, it was good for what it was. There was a lot of interference that kind of took away from the match. You had the whole thing with Jack Hager's wife and R. Anderson, and it was kind of crazy how the match ended. You had Jack Hager put Cody Rhodes in the uh, in the ankle locker, so Cody just kind of countered it into a pin. Like he had him, no, not the ankle lock. He had him in his little submission hold, and Cody actually countered that into a pin. And then Jack Hager had his arms up in the air like he won, but in reality, Cody actually countered the submission to a pin and ended up pinning him, which is what led to Jack Hager attacking the ref. And Chris Jericho was in commentary during night one. Eventually, he would go at it with Orange Cassidy and leave the commentary booth. But this was, Chris Jericho definitely added a lot to the commentary from some of the things he was saying. Uh, Other times he was a little obnoxious, a little loud, a little crazy, but he definitely added a lot with JR and Tony Giovanni, but he was involved not too long after this match. Brawl he was going to have Orange Cassidy. You could see the tension of how upset he was when Jack Hager lost in that fashion. Jack Hager attacked the ref as a result of it, and in kayfabe he got suspended for it. So, it was like I said, it was all right for what it was. It was it was all right for what it was. And I like the fact that the title's being defended as consistent. So, it's going to be interesting to see because I think Cody is also defending the title next week at Fight for the Fallen. I forgot who, can't think of right now who he's facing with his belt on the line. I think he's also going to be defending the belt next week for Fight for the Fallen. Next up, you had Private Party versus Inner Circle. Um, this matchup right here, um, a lot of people are kind of surprised that Private Party won this match. A lot of people expected Santana Ortiz to win, because Santana Ortiz has kind of been on a losing streak lately. But I got to say, I think with Private Party, I I like the team. I think that they're still building themselves. I think somewhere down the line, within a year or so, if not this year, maybe next year, they should definitely win the AEW tag team belts. This was actually, this was this was okay for what it was. They picked up the victory here against the Inner Circle. Santana Ortiz, Santana Ortiz. It's the hope that they can get back on track, but you take nothing away from Private Party here. Mark Quinn and his partner. I can't think of his name right now, but this was a pretty good tag match between both teams. And Private Party picked up the victory here. So, it was just it was a pretty surprising victory for Private Party, but you know, I would say it was good, for what it was. And then you had the main event of night one, Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Best Friends. This was I think one of the things about this pay per view, um, sometimes the commercials kind of cut away from some of the matches. So, but well, from this televised show, shall I say? But this main event here, it was, it was pretty good for what it was. Thought, I actually thought that the Best Friends was going to win this match. I mean, because Adam Page and Kenny Omega, they've been champions right at this point since about January, I would say. They've been champions since the year started, since early January. That's when they defeated SCU for the titles. And they've just been holding on to it for a long time. And we kind of thought that at Double or Nothing, well, not Double or Nothing, but at Revolution, we kind of thought that Adam Page was going to turn on Kenny then, but it doesn't look like they're heading in that direction. They just managed to be a cohesive unit ever since. And best friends kind of pointed out about some of their problems that they've had as a team. And they were showing the video packages between both teams. And, I got to say, man, I mean, you just start to wonder after a while how much longer they're going to hold the belts. They pretty much, ever since Adam Page has come back, they've nearly beaten all comers. They beat Jimmy Havoc and Chris Sabin in that title match. They just won the title match here with the Best Friends. It's at this point like their third or fourth title defense. They've had, several title defenses and have managed to come out on top each time. So you just kind of start to wonder how much longer is it going to last. But, it'd be interesting to see which team that thrones Adam Page and, maybe considering the fact that these are actually well-established teams and they've lost matches like this. So the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, they did a good amount of stuff here in this match, but in the end, Kenny and Adam Page managed to retain the belt. So this is what you have for night one. I would say a pretty decent night one overall, but definitely a Kuroshita and Penelope Ford was probably my favorite match of the card for night one. It was just lightning fast from the get-go. It was just straightforward, just amazingness in this matchup here. And then for night two, you kicked off with Kenny Omega and Adam Page defending the belts again, this time against Private Party, as they had previously defeated Ortiz and Santana in night one. I will say they, again, Private Party, they're getting there. They're definitely getting there. We kind of knew they weren't going to have them win the belts. But the Best Friends I did think was going to win, but I mean, pretty much after they lost, you kind of expect Private Party wasn't going to win. But I mean, they busted out some good moves. I mean, at one point, I think Marco Quinney went for it was like a 360 or he went from something from the top with his finisher, and they managed to kick out of it, and he hit a tornado DDT. I think it was on Kenny Omega. So, and his partner did a splash on Adam Page from outside of the ring. So it was a lot of pretty decent moves in this matchup here that happened. They won with the V trigger and clothesline put together is how they managed to retain the belts. But yeah, I mean, this matchup right here, and plus they've had Matt Hardy been as their little mentor. So I think the more that Matt Hardy mentors them and is around them and, watches them grow, I think the more that Private Party will eventually win the AEW tag team titles, if not by next year, hopefully, as they definitely deserve it down the line. And you can just see it in this match right here that they're getting better. They're improving themselves. Um, and like I said, they had some beautiful tornado DDTs. It's that one spot where I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but his partner did like a splash from outside the ring. So you had a lot of creative spots here in this match. But in the end, once again, Kenny Omega and Adam Page retained the AEW tag team title. So again, you start to wonder who's going to take the belts from them. And they've had a pretty long title reign at this point, so you just kind of know. Because even SCU weren't champions for this long. I think SCU, I know they won the titles back when they were, doing a little tournament for it. But I know they didn't hold it this long. They were champions about 3 to 4 months. But they weren't holding the belts for this long. So That's pretty interesting right there. Next up, you had Lance Archer against Joey Janela. This I actually thought that this match in the beginning was just going to be a squash match where Lance Archer was just going to crush Joey Janela because he came out and he just threw Sonny Kiss to the ground. He apparently had attacked Sonny Kiss from backstage or so. He slung him to the ground, and but I mean I'll give him this. Joey Janela, he managed to get a lot of offense on Lance Archer in this match, and Lance Archer has pretty much been furious ever since he lost to Cody Rhodes at Double or Nothing TNT Championship opportunity. He's been pretty furious about that, and he's just been destroying people. I don't watch AEW Dark, but I know I've heard that he's just going after everybody now, and you can just see it here. He's just definitely has just been on a whole rampage ever since losing at Double or Nothing. He's just been beating, attacking everybody. And in this match right here, you had that one spot where Joey Janela had went for something, and Sonny Kiss did like a frog splash or something on him, and he went for the pin, and he still ended up kicking out. So in the beginning of the match, it just seemed like Lance Archer was just going to beat him by a squash, but then they managed to have Joey Janela bust out a few good moves here and there that led to um, Lance Archer getting more aggressive. He actually put him through a table and ended up pinning him back into the ring like that. See, the one thing that I just kind of still kind of want away AEW is some of the rules as far as like the rules and stuff, because you would think that with someone getting put through a table, that would cause a DQ, especially considering this was not a, this wasn't a stipulation type of match. This was just a regular singles match, but nothing happened here. So you kind of start to wonder about some of the rulings in AEW. But other than that, the match was good. Joey Janela, he looks pretty good here for what they actually allowed him to do in this match, and Lance Archer picked up the victory. Now, I will say this: since Taz introduced brought back the FCW Championship back from ECW days, I think that would be a perfect belt for guys like Lance Archer and Warlow, and even maybe Luchasaurus, and really the big guys, and some of them. I think this would be the perfect belt for them to fight over. So if Lance Archer wants to hold a championship belt, I think this would be the perfect one. This is like the equivalence of the Hardcore Championship, the FCW title from ECW that Taz brought back and gave to Brian Cage. Just there's a lot of guys I think that would be good to fight over this belt, and he's definitely on the top of the list if he really wants to win a belt again at some point. And then next up, you had the Butcher and the Blade teaming up with uh, the Lucha Bros against um, against the Young Bucks and FTR. This match right here was just amazing, amazing 8-man tag match here. We had um, a lot of great things that happened in this match. I thought for sure that there was going to be some tension with the Young Bucks and FTR, as they already have had, especially last week. They came out to celebrate, especially last week. They tried to come out to celebrate with Kenny and Adam Page, and Kenny just spilled the liquor because Kenny's not a drinker; he just drinks milk. He spilled the liquor, and it kind of caused tension between them. But in this particular match here, the Young Bucks managed to work really well with FTR, and it was nice to see the Lucha Bros back in action after being in Mexico for quite a while and teaming up with the Butcher and the Blade. I honestly was kind of surprised they won, but at the same time, they've been gone for a long time, so it was a much needed victory for them here. Definitely the best spot in the match was when Ray Phoenix went for this Canadian destroyer. I think it was on Nick Jackson. Um, and he fell on top of everybody. It was outside of the ring. That was one of the best moves in this match. At one point, there was a Spanish fly that took place with him and one of the Young Bucks. I mean, it was just a lot of crazy spots in this matchup here. The uh, FTR, they went for a beautiful power driver on one of them. So it was a lot of just a lot of insane spots that happened in this matchup here. And like I said, you gotta love the Lucha Bros, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix, honestly, I feel like these guys definitely should be the next tag champs. If they don't give it to Santana Ortiz, it should definitely be Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. And I honestly think Ray Phoenix alone could be, the next guy to win a TNT championship. Because Ray Phoenix, I love both Lucha Bros, but it's just something about Ray Phoenix that he just amazes me even more. And I really think that he should win the tag belts with his brother, but also he should eventually win the TNT championship because he's just that good. Both brothers are amazing. I think he should win that belt too at some point. And this match right here was no different than that. I've seen some clips of when they squared off, had some classic matches at Tenor and T's and Impact. I saw some of their work in Lucha Underground, and man, just amazing, amazing, amazing matchup here. This was just an incredible match. Probably my favorite match of night two. This match right here, just man, this match was good. And then you had Nyla Rose basically in a squash match. Um, and basically she announced that she was going to be getting the manager, much like Cody Rhodes, much like Sean Spears, and everyone else who had managers. And I charged her how they've had championships with managers, but not revealing who the manager is going to be. So it's going to be really interesting to see who ends up being the manager. Uh, Squash match right there. I don't really think this was really necessary to put on the show, but it is what it is. Next up, you had Cole Cabana and the Dark Order taking on SCU. Um, this match right here, it just kind of built the tension of whether or not Cole Cabana is going to officially join the Dark Order. You've seen in recent weeks how each time that uh, Brody Lee has done the dirty work, has incapacitated his opponent. You'll see that he will tag Colt Cabana to go for the pin. And Colt Cabana, they start off showing him apparently being attacked from someone from behind. So we had that whole thing going on. But this match right here, I thought it was good. While it lasted. Definitely SCU. They look pretty good here. Um, Christopher Daniels hit a pretty decent moonsault, not as quick as he used to, but it was good for what it was. Freddie Gazera and Scorpio Sky had some pretty good tag combinations in this match. A lot of um, decent things happened in this matchup here. You know, Dark Order picked up the victory here, which, like I said, it was a pretty good matchup. It kind of furthered the tension of Colt Cabana, whether or not he's going to join the group or not as a full member. But you can kind of see that maybe this is leading to something. And then the main event for night one, you had Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy. This match here, pretty good. A lot. This Jericho really put a lot on Orange Cassidy, even though he said that if you tried this nonchalant, not putting your hands in your pocket stuff, he was gonna f him up or whatever. That didn't really take place in the match, but he really Orange Cassidy, you really saw a lot out of him in this match. Orange Cassidy has a unique move set. Like he could be fast, he could have speed, had the power. He could be technical. He has so many different ways that he can go at you, and that's what you kind of seen in this matchup here. He went for a couple of suicidas on Chris Jericho from outside the ring. There was two spots where he hit a beautiful tornado DDT. At one point, you know, he tried to. At one point, Orange Cassidy tried to go for Superman punch, but he got countered with the Judas effect, and Chris Jericho ended up winning the match like that. Santana Ortiz was at ringside, and they splashed orange juice on. And this is kind of the part where I, again, with the rule set, like in a regular match, this would cause a disqualification, but this didn't do anything. And that's kind of like the rule set. I kind of want to with AEW sometimes, but you saw that happen, and there was no DQ. And the match still continued, but then that's when the best friends came out to help Orange Cassidy, because when he came out, he basically told them that he didn't want their help. He didn't need them to be out there. He didn't want them to be out there. He wanted to do this on his own. But then when they saw that happen, they couldn't resist, and they came out and started, attacking Santana Ortiz. But Chris Jericho still managed to get the victory. Even went for a code breaker, which I haven't seen him do in quite some time. And Orange Cassidy ended up kicking out of the code breaker. He had him in the walls of Jericho at one point, but even Orange Cassidy managed to get out of that. So, I gotta say this was probably the second best I've seen Orange Cassidy since his match with Pac at Revolution. But it seemed like this match he put a lot more into it, because in that match, for a long part of the match, he wasn't doing anything, and that's when he started putting in the offense. But in this match, from the get go, from the starting of the match, you know, even with his hands in his pockets, you could see that he was taking the fight to Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho made $1 million in this man, even with him losing, even with him winning, and even in defeat with Orange Cassidy, you still see Chris Jericho really may put this guy over in this match. And you saw, like I said, just a lot of, Orange Cassidy has a really beautiful tornado DDT. I like the way that he executes it. It's really good. Um, he went for about two of them in the match. He just, like I said, the man just has a very unique move set. He has unique pinning combinations too. Very unique pinning combinations. Multiple times in the match, he tried to pin Chris Jericho in so many different pinning combinations. Um, like I said, this match right here, I thought it was a really good main event. I thought that I thought that Orange Cassidy really took the fight to Chris Jericho. At one point, it looked as if he went for either a sliced bread or it was almost like either sliced bread or a stutter almost on Chris Jericho. So it was a lot of, like I said, a lot of creative move sets that Orange Cassidy did on Chris Jericho. And like I said, the way that the match ended, it was insane, because he got hit with the Judas effect, and that was pretty much the end of it there. So overall, a pretty decent pay-per-view. I would say that my favorite match for night one is Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford, and my favorite matches for night two would have to be the uh, the the 8-man tag match, and then Chris Jericho versus Cassidy, the 8-man tag match definitely. So that's pretty much it, guys, for my review on AEW Fighter Fest, and